Greetings once again, Orphanites, and we're into part 2 of my experience with investigation at Haunted Hill House in Mineral Wells, Texas. So if you haven't seen that part 1, go back and watch that. It'll make more sense as I go through part 2. Whenever I finished up part 1, I was talking about this closet that was downstairs and some things that I was getting on my phone. Let me tell you a little bit about the house real quick. It was built in 1890, I believe it was, and there's 2 sisters that lived there. The house, over time, after the sisters had passed away, was around the time that the Baker Hotel opened up and went and started attracting large numbers of people to Mineral Wells. The house ended up, I'm not sure through what circumstances exactly, becoming well, it was used as a gambling den. They had illegal liquor. It was also a bordello or a brothel, depending on which term you want to use. And their largest clientele came, of course, from the nearby Baker Hotel. But also, during the World War II, there was a military base there that was a large infantry training camp, and a lot of soldiers went there as well. The house itself it's very nice. Considering the condition it's in, it really needs to be renovated, but people haven't been able to renovate it because of the paranormal activity there. It goes crazy whenever people try to do anything to the house. There are several rooms there that they've given different names, and the reason is because of there's particular entities that occupy these rooms on a regular basis, or for the most part. There's a room upstairs that is called, I believe it's Joshua's room. There's a child spirit that occupies this room. Supposedly he was the child of one of the ladies of the evening that worked at the brothel when it was open, and he was apparently deformed or had some kind of mental issue or something like that, and he was kept in the attic and unfortunately died there at about the age of 6. But he's supposed to be one of the most active and friendly entities in the house. During part 1, I mentioned that was the child Jacob that was hung in the tree outside. Charles, the man who was the one that murdered him, I believe it's Charles, also occupies the house in different parts. There's been a wide range of activity that's been reported there. There's been scratches, people being touched, people having cold spots, and having hair pulled, all kinds of things. Like I said, I didn't really know what to expect, and I wasn't sure, what I would do if I had something like that happen to me. If I felt something touch me, I'd go, was I going to freak out, or what was I going to do? I really didn't know. But through the night, I took several pictures. We're going to have some of these showing for you, and also some of the screen caps of the words that appeared. At one point, there is a place upstairs where there's a room in the attic that you go into, and it's reported that there are 2 demonic type entities or some kind of not pleasant entities that are chained to the wall on either side of the door. And whenever you enter the room, you don't really, I didn't at least, feel anything, but somebody else had said that you don't necessarily feel their presence. One of the pieces of equipment that the investigative team had is called an SLS camera, and I'm not exactly sure how it works, but it's a camera that on the screen will give you like a thermographic image, like an infrared camera or a FLIR camera, and if there's an entity there, it will actually pick it up somehow or other and create a stick figure, and it'll show you where it's at and where it's moving and everything. I was upstairs with a couple of people that had that, and I walked in, and they had a K2 meter, which is another instrument that's used, and the guy was saying that one of them was right here, and he took and set the K2 meter down on the floor, and the lights immediately went all the way to red. It ranges from like green to red, and it just stayed at red. So supposedly that was the entity that it was picking up. On the SLS camera, sure enough, whenever he pointed in that direction, here's these 2 figures, one on either side of the door, and they're kind of moving around and all of this sort of thing. I I mean, I took a couple of pictures there. I never saw anything. I never felt anything. I don't know if that's either here or there. One of the things that I did catch in a photograph, I haven't gone through all of my pictures, but there was one thing that was obvious in one of the photographs I took. Whenever you take pictures on one of these investigations, you're supposed to take 2 or 3 in a row, because something might show up on one that's not on the others, and I had that happen on one of the photographs. There's a lot of people that do investigations that say that there are orbs, and an orb is supposedly a spirit, and I personally don't really buy into that. I think orbs are generally pieces of dust or insects or something like that, and some of them do act in a random sort of way whenever you watch them, but as far as I'm concerned, it's really just air currents. I suppose it's a possibility that it is actually an entity of some sort, depending on, is it generating its own kind of light? Does it seem to have an intelligent way of moving or anything like that? I've never seen anything like that other than on TV, though. I didn't experience anything like that during the investigation. I did, like I said, get some odd things as far as words on my phone. I got, as I said earlier, please out. Later I got walk now, followed by out. But like I said, some of the, things like that, and the out and get out and that kind of thing, please out. I don't know if it's random stuff. I don't know if it's actually stuff that's being manipulated and actually coming up on my phone that's real or not. The investigation was supposed to go on all night. We had the house until 8:30. A lot of people started leaving around midnight, 2 o'clock. And I wanted to stay at least until 3 o'clock, because for some reason 3 a.m. is magic hour for paranormal investigations. I'm not sure what it is about 3 a.m., but supposedly lots of activity starts taking place then. And I was in one of the rooms with a couple of other people, and we were told to be quiet for like 10 minutes and see if anything happened. Nothing did. I finally wrapped up my end of things and decided to go ahead and leave about 4. I was really tired and felt like I had done everything I was going to do there. Wrapping up, the overall thoughts and feelings about it is, am I still a skeptic? I think, yeah, it's pretty obvious that I am. I didn't really have anything that made me think that, oh, this is absolutely paranormal. There was one point where I was in a room with a couple of other people. We were trying to do we were using a box, trying to get the spirits to communicate with us. And one guy said that, I feel a cold spot, and I kind of felt it too. But we were also next to an old chimney, an old fireplace. So, the cold spot was about waist high, and the opening for the hearth for the fireplace wasn't a lot bigger than that. So I really believe it was just air coming in, infiltrating through that. Like I said, I didn't get touched, I didn't get tugged, I didn't get pushed or anything whispered in my ear or anything like that. Nobody had reported anything like that as far as I heard. There were some photographs that were interesting. There was a couple of people that there was a couple that they were in one room, and she said she felt and heard herself kick a can, and she looked with a flashlight and there was nothing around her foot that would have made that kind of noise. One girl said she got scratched, but overall I didn't really have anything happen to me. I didn't have any unusual feelings. So I'm not saying that nothing happened. I'm not saying that that there was a bunch of bunk or anything like that. People had experiences, and I kind of had experiences that, I'm a little ambivalent about, is that, a rational explanation for it or not. I'm not ready to dismiss the existence of ghosts or anything like that, or anything paranormal. I still believe there are things in this world that we just cannot explain rationally, and so I'm still open to the possibilities. I don't know that I'll do another investigation. If I do, it'd have to be someplace that's really well known for its activity, and the circumstances that have to be right for me to want to go there again, or to go to that location. Right now, I'm happy with it all. didn't have any kind of experiences. One of the things I wanted to see, if I did have some kind of experience, then maybe that would make me better relate it to the movie. Whenever we're actually filming, I could explain to the actor, oh, this is what it feels like, or something like that. But I'm pleased with the experience that I had both times. I basically went to satisfy my curiosity, and that's exactly what I did. So right now, I'm a happy camper as far as this goes. I'm still a skeptic. I don't see any reason that'll be changing anytime soon. If you yourself want to experience paranormal investigation, I highly recommend Haunted Texas Paranormal. You can find them on Facebook. They are a good group of people. They are very professional. They don't go in going, oh, we're going to prove that there's ghosts. Like any good investigation group, they go in going, we're going to debunk what we can, and what we can't explain we may determine as being paranormal. They have several events coming up that are probably going to be more than worthwhile. There's going to be some more events, overnights that they have at Haunted Hill House. So look them up. They're a really good group to go with. As far as the Orphan, we are still kind of in a little bit of a holding pattern. We are moving towards doing short films. So a good bit of work on those, but hopefully we're going to be getting those going real soon. Anyways, that'll wrap it up for us this time around. And as always, you can reach us by email at realorphanmovie@gmail.com. Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram is The Orphan Movie. And on Facebook, there is the new discussion group that you can ask us questions or poke us or prod us in whatever way pleases you. And of course, the home on the web is theorphanmovie.com. That's where our vlogs are. That's where our sign up for our email subscription list is as well, on our contact page there. That'll take care of it this time around, and we will see you next time here on The Orphan Movie.